Let me check. I think it's vegetarian. Because I don't know about the crackers. Well, you know, it's a shame we have to pay more to eat healthy. But that's why. Are these Ritz crackers? What kind of crackers are these?
Yeah, that's what those are.
Ritz?
Yeah.
Okay, it is Ritz. So
These are I got the bag.
the sun chips?
Yeah.
She doesn't have her spear and her war gear, but put this on your neck. This is for Sister Martha. She is strong. She helped keep our nation built strong. And so all of you, as you grow up and be kings and queens, you will be strong like us. And last but not least, well, not last, but one more. This is rich and royal diamonds coming from the earth. And I'm giving this to Miss Carla. Miss Carla, come down. Miss Carla, she was the one that, when we were in the royal fight to save our country, Carla came out and she was able to help the soldiers, give them what they need. And this is for Carla. Riches, diamonds, and gold. This is for my staff. I am the ruler of Egypt. Queen Cleopatra. And last but not least, as you can see, I have all these strong black African women. We have strong men and kings too. But this royal pearl came from the deep depths of the sea. Many men have lost their lives trying to just get one of these. But I have hundreds. And I'm giving this to our famous, fabulous, she is our next queen in line. I'm going to give these to Sister Asatawa. Thank you. Know that I'm so happy that you're one of my court from the kingdom of Egypt. I bless you, my child.
Thank you.
Wear them well.
Thank you.
Yes. Let's give it up for the queens. All beautiful African queens. Yes. But I am the royal queen of Egypt. Let's give it up. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Boys and girls, we have a magnificent show for you today. We have food, we have African drumming. I believe we have step walkers. We have poems. And best of all, we have you. Give it up for yourselves.
some of you are wondering, well, how did this Geechee Goombay all get started? How did it all happen? How did it all come to be? Well, you know, we were having a business meeting at the, as a matter of fact, Brother Taimba's place, 2237 East 79th Street, 27 years ago. We were in his place, in a beautiful place. We used to rent from him, and the officers were getting ready to have a Halloween party. And my husband said, oh, no more Halloween. No more Halloween. Our children, oh, they don't need to be ghosts and goblins. They need to know who their heroes are and their sheroes. He said, give me a couple of weeks and I'll come up with something. Sure enough, he came up with Geechee Goombay. Well, you know, at that time I was still teaching. Sister Brenda Dunclay was still teaching. She's been with me all these years. Brother Taimba's been with me all these years. And guess what? We didn't have to worry about getting kids. We just brought our classes. We just signed them up, brought all 30 of them, all 40 of them, and we've had Geechee Goombay in many places. As a matter of fact, we started out at the Park District on 76 and Ingleside. Let me tell you, you know, you learn from experience, right? So we started out with 6th, 7th, and 8th grade children. Those kids took those apples out the goodie bag, and they threw the apples at the building. They said, don't you all ever bring those kids back. So we learned, oh, we need to start with smaller, younger children so we can teach them. So then we started with 2nd, 3rd, 4th, like that, 5th grade, and we found that to be the happy medium for our children because they were interested in learning how to portray famous African Americans. So that's where we started. We've dealt with many schools, Mason School, after I retired, Delano School. Every year I had to be working with some kind of program. But when I finally retired, I think a few years ago, because nobody would let me retire. It's always, you gotta be here, we need you. So I would work and work. I said, wait a minute, do you all know what retirement means? It means retirement. I said, so I am not gonna keep working for you. I gotta do something else. It's time for me to honor my ancestors and honor my comrades, my teachers and my friends that I have worked with. So we moved on to other things, and we had to go to programs like Dr. Sutherland's program, after-school programs, and then when you're working with children in different groups, you don't have a structured group to work with. But we are so happy that this year we're going to be working, as our president said, we're going to be bringing you into some of our other programs, so that next year we will, as Sister Santua says, this will spread, and more people will know about Geechee Goombay. But every child portrays a famous African American. Then we choose the best 3 portrayals. We're gonna see who those are today. 1st, 2nd, and 3rd prizes, but all the children get certificates. All of the children.
Warrior in the tradition of Dessalines and Toussaint, El Overture, Shaka Zulu. I thank you again.
You see why he wears that award proudly. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I lost my place. This is quick, but let me find it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just a piece that I picked for us because a little boy named Theo asked his mother, what would it be like without black people? Did you hear that? What would it be like without us? The powerful, the great. This is a story of a little boy named Theo who woke up one morning and he asked his mother, Mom, what if there were no black people in the world? And she said, son, follow me. And they decided to go around and look around for a while to see what it would be like without any black people in the world. So Mom said, go get dressed. And then they went to get started. Theo ran to his room and he looked for his shoes and his wrinkled, and they were so wrinkled. And then he said, I must iron them. But when he reached for the ironing board, it wasn't there. You know why? Because Sarah Boone, a black woman, invented the ironing board. And Jan E. Metzlinger, a black man, invented the shoe-lasting machine. Oh, well, she said, let's go do something to your hair. Theo ran to his room to comb his hair, but the comb was not there. You see, Walter Simmons, a black man, invented the comb. Theo decided to just brush his hair, but the brush was gone. You see, Lydia O. Newman, a black female, invented the brush. Well, this was a sight. No shoes, wrinkled clothes, hair a mess. Even Mom's hair without the hair care of the inventions of Madam C.J. Walker. Well, you get the picture. So she told Theo, let's go do your chores around the house. Let's take a trip to the grocery store also. So Theo's job was to sweep the floor. He swept and swept, but when he reached for the dustpan, it was not there. Because Thomas Stewart, a black man, well, I'm jumping forward. Sorry, guys. Lloyd P. Ray, a black man, invented the dustpan. And then he wanted to mop the floor, but he couldn't mop because Thomas W. Stewart, a black man, invented the mop. So Theo yelled, Mama, Mama, I'm not having any luck. She said, well, son, let's finish washing these clothes. And we will prepare a list for the grocery store. When the wash was finished, she went to place the clothes in the dryer, but it was not there. You see, George T. Salmon, a black man, invented the clothes dryer. So Mom asked Theo to go get a pencil and some paper to prepare their list for the market because they're getting ready to go to the grocery store, right? So then Theo ran to get the paper and the pencil, but he noticed that the pencil lead was broken. When he was out of luck because John Love, a black man, invented the pencil sharpener. So Mom reached for a pen. No luck. William Purvis, a black man, invented the fountain pen. As a matter of fact, Lee Burridge invented the typewriting machine and W.A. Lovett the advanced printing press. Well, Theo and his mother decided to head to the market. Well, when Theo opened the door, he noticed the grass was high as it could be. You see, John Burr, a black man, invented the lawnmower. They made their way over to the car and found that it just wouldn't go. You see, Richard Spikes, a black man, invented the auto gear shift. Now, you know I don't know a lot about cars, but you got to shift the gears. You can't move the car, that's for sure. And then Joseph Gamble invented the supercharged system for internal combustion of the engine. So the engine would fire up so the car could go. And so these black men invented those so that we can get the cars going. All right, after they got the cars going, they noticed that cars were in wrecks and cars were moving all over the place and there were no traffic signals. Feels like my thing is coming up here. You see, Garrett A. Morgan invented the traffic light. Well, it was getting late. So they walked to the market, got their groceries, and returned home. Just when they were about to put away the milk and the eggs and the butter, they noticed the refrigerator was gone. You see, John Standard, a black man, invented the refrigerator. So they just left the food on the counter. By this time, they noticed that it was getting mighty cold. So Mom went to turn on the heat, and what do you know? Alice Parker, a black female, invented the heating furnace. And in the summertime, they would have been out of luck because Frederick Jones, a black man, invented the air conditioner. It was almost time for Theo's father to come home, and he usually takes the bus. But there was no bus because its precursor, before the bus came along, there was an electric trolley. And that was invented by another black man called Albert R. Robinson. He usually takes the elevator from his office to the 20th floor. But there was no elevator because Alex Miles, a black man, invented the elevator. He also dropped off his mail, but he could no longer do it because Philip Downing, a black man, invented the letterbox. Theo, his mother said, they just sat in the kitchen and they just dropped their heads. When the father arrived, he said, "Why are you all sitting in the dark?" Because Lewis Howard Latimer, a black man, invented the filament in the light bulb. You know that little thing in the light bulb that makes it brighter? That was invented by a black man. Well, especially if you were ever sick and you needed blood, Dr. Charles Drew, a black scientist, found a way to preserve and store the blood and made the first blood bank. Well, what if a family member had to have heart surgery? This had to be an impossible task without Dr. Daniel Hale Williams, a black doctor, performed the first open heart surgery. So if you ever wonder, like Theo said, what it would be like without black people, it would be pretty grim. Things just wouldn't be the same. In fact, things would be no good without the black man. Thank you all. Thank you very much. See how valuable you are? So boys and girls, if you have an invention or something you want to create, keep working on it.
Very, very special. All right? Remember earlier when I started off doing a libation and we were talking about spirit and bodies and spirits of our ancestors? Well, a lot of times you have people who actually portray these spirits. And the brothers that's here, we have a spirit here with us. He's called a masquerader. In a West African tradition, it's usually something that you might see in synagogue. When I was living in the islands, I actually saw them in the parades. They would dance the whole parade. So we got a spirit here with us right now, and he's going to come out when I start playing the drums.
All right, get ready, listen, pay attention.